I'd just like to pass my condolences on to the Selwood family before we take any questions. Could only imagine what they're going through today and over the last 4 or 5 months. Thoughts go out to Fee and kids and Scott and Joel and their parents. It's I could only imagine what you're going through, and a lot of people in WA footy world are thinking of his tonight.
You coached with him, and Jamie played with him, and Joel played with Joel. How did you handle the day?
I got a phone call from Gavin Bell this morning, and my immediate thought goes to protecting and in getting around those guys who I know were close to him, and especially JG. So able to support each other and work our way past it for a couple of hours. But it's like I said, devastating news, and thoughts go out to all those close to them.
The game, which sort of feels relevant. You say that, is that your most complete performance?
I think so. But probably the last 10 minutes we got a little bit sloppy. I thought we jumped into the game reasonably well, and even built probably from that start to even the start of the last, we were really up for the contest and playing the way we wanted to play. And we've played some really good footy this year, so it's hard to measure it against the Adelaide game and a few of the other performances. And our form against sides above us has been pretty solid. Whether it's our most solid performance or most consistent performance, it was a really strong performance.
And to do it on the road, outside of the neutral gather-round game, your away form hasn't been as good as what you would have wanted it to be for a long time now.
No, and really today, this week, we tried to put any headlines and talk about performing on the road and all those sort of things that you say in these moments that actually don't help you play well. And we just got back to the behaviours we want to see throughout the week, and been really clear on the controllables that it shouldn't matter whether you're playing at Optus or you're playing here, but you can bring those things and things like communication, moving on from mistakes, that connection piece, how we hunt the opposition versus getting hunted. Those things, it doesn't matter where you play, who you play, you can bring those things. They're all controllable. So just tried to really focus on the behaviours that we wanted to see.
To not find, I guess, a scoreboard reward in the second quarter, to finally find that ascendancy in the third, what was different? We just finished our work. Sometimes I don't think the game looked any different. We spoke about getting our tackle pressure up a little bit in the third quarter. I didn't think that was a big impact on the game. I just think we showed a little bit more composure to be able to finish our work off. You're right, it was frustrating, especially in that first half where we were, and in particularly the second quarter, we dominated field position and we were a bit scattergun, whether it was shots on goal or just basic finishing our work off, going inside 50. So the most pleasing thing, we didn't get caught up in the scoreboard and didn't get caught up in the frustration of not taking our opportunities. We just stuck to the process, and eventually, the scoreboard turned in our favour. Obviously, everyone on there was playing their role, but you had Shai Bolton stand up today, especially in the Sir Doug Nicholls fixture. Can you talk about, I guess, this impact in the time since arriving at the club and obviously tonight? He's added a lot to our group. We've spoken about this nauseam, the flexibility he provides. When he first came into the team, probably he was off a shorter run-up in terms of fitness, and we played him forward a little bit more with limited impact in the midfield. And the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've probably four midfielders out, and we've asked him to play in the midfield the last 2 weeks in particular, and he's stood up to the challenge. He's hit the scoreboard tonight with his time forward, but his ability to get the ball going our way is paramount to complementing Sarong and Brayshaw. So he adds flexibility to us. Off the field, he's a bubbly character and likes to joke, and he's got a real serious side to him about wants us to be a really good footy team, and
he likes talking footy as well. So yeah, he's been a great addition.
You mentioned some of those headlines. Obviously, Luke Jackson's been in a lot of them this week, but that was a phenomenal performance from him out there in the ruck today. I mean, how did you assess it? Obviously, no Sean for this game, but he was really strong in a pretty tight battle against Briggs and Riccardi, who obviously had a really good week last week.
Yeah. He's been on the back page of the paper a lot. I didn't imagine how many phone calls and how many people want to talk to him about what's going on. But like I said to the players at the end of the game, you wouldn't know it with Luke. He just is able to push those distractions aside, come to the club, get to work, be a great teammate, work on his game. And you saw that ability tonight. He had a great week of preparation, and I think, to be honest, my discussions with him, he's a bit confused where it all comes from. Never has he said anything, but he wants to be a Fremantle player, and these headlines keep popping up, and people from other clubs keep fueling him. So, until he comes to me asking for a trade, I won't be concerned.
Obviously, you mentioned both Sarong and Andy, I think, in there as well, that it was clear Bedford was always going to go to one of them, went to Brayshaw early, and it allowed Caleb to kind of find a bit of space and get off the chain early, and then the Giants kind of couldn't peg back, I guess, his confidence almost from getting that early start.
Yeah, yep, it's a good observation. But even when Andy did get tagged, I thought Andy's ability to roll his sleeves up and just go to work and embrace the challenge of a tag, he worked through that situation really well. And maybe, as a team, we didn't work through those situations as well as we could have against St Kilda when those sorts of roles came at us. So shows good growth. You need your leaders to be able to work through those challenges and still be able to lead and play with the right mindset when they're getting tagged. And thought he worked through that really well. And like you said, Caleb got a good look with not getting tagged. And I think the whole midfield balance, you mentioned, Jacko, but Wagner's playing an important role in there. Jono Erasmus contributed tonight. Sharpie played his role on the wing. It's just a really strong midfield performance.
And just on Luke, away from what's happened over the past week, back to the field, what did you make of his game, I guess, because when he has that sort of impact, it's hard to argue that playing full-time ruck's not his best position.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. Then it's a bit horses for courses. Briggs he's a big unit, but he's not 212 centimetres like some of them. I thought Luke used his athleticism in the ruck contest, and what he does around the ground once the ball hits the deck is, it's probably not many rucks in the comp that bring that. So he's a real weapon for us, clearly, and. Like I said, he's showed real maturity to be able to put the week behind him and focus on his footy and play that way. Shows real maturity. Sorry.
You touched on people from other clubs perhaps fueling a fire there. What did you make of Simon Goodman?
You can work that out. Yeah.
You've been pretty quiet about when other players have been linked to you and refused to fuel the fire yourself, though. So are you annoyed that others are fueling the fire in this situation?
Oh no, I understand that. Coaches are going to get asked, so it's not necessarily directed at that.
With Luke's the way you play Luke, he's been a forward ruck for his entire time here. Is he commanding more ruck forward as a result of what he's doing at the moment now?
Well, I think you saw last week we started him in the ruck when him and Sean were in the team, so. We've sort of edged that way anyway, and there's other ways we can get Luke around the ball without playing in the ruck as well. So we'll look to evolve that.
Patrick Voss looked like he was keen for a big game against, obviously, Giants Academy member who wasn't picked up by the club here. Could you sense he was ready for a bit of a big performance tonight?
Oh, I think he's always up for that. He brings he brings great energy, physicality. He's up for any challenge. So, he didn't, probably maybe played a bit of ruck back end of last year for Peel, but he hasn't. Leading into the season, we threw that challenge at him, and he's just gone to work to try and give us the best contest he can in there. I think he had family and friends down from Wagga. He's a New South Wales boy, so he's pretty keen to put on a good performance.
Do you have to rein him in at times?
And that's a good thing, right? Like, we want those guys to be able to play on edge, and the guys that we need to rein in a little bit. But like I said at the start, the enthusiasm he brings is contagious, and his teammates thrive on that. So, yeah, there's not much training in, to be honest.
And Michael Frederick got on the board today. Was he telling people to feed him because it's his 25th birthday? Was he like?
Yeah, he's been close, and last week he probably just didn't finish off his work more airily, but he was dangerous. And today, he shifted the ball pretty well from our back half, and especially from our D50. And as soon as you get speed on the ball, and Freddie, he's ripping back to goal, he's hard to stop. So, yeah, he was a benefactor of some good work up the field. But yeah, he might have been one of those players in the second quarter or the first half that left a few out there.